This is going to be a little bit different video. We're going to tell you the truth. We're going to talk about how corporate America is killing the full-time RVer's dream, including Venturesome Couples.
We're actually talking to our daughter and boyfriend about remote work, since Chris is a remote worker, and they were telling us some facts that they read about.
Yeah, it was a little shocking. They brought up an article, which we'll share in the video, about a 22-year-old that is working 2 remote full-time jobs simultaneously. Honestly, it's that crap that is killing this opportunity for a lot of us that love to work on the road.
Well, let's take Chris for an example. So since COVID, Chris was allowed to work remote full-time. Him and his whole team, his boss, most everyone that wasn't in a hospital or patient-facing is able to stay remote work. But how is that changing now?
Companies across the country have started forcing people back into the building, and they're disguising it as hybrid or flexible. Well, the company I work for is no different. We went from it's all good, be where you want to be as long as you're within our operating states, to now you have to be within a radius of your employer. So for us, if I want to promote within the company, I have to move back to the state that I promote into. A lot of companies are heading down this path.
A couple years ago, we had bought a home base in Florida after selling our house in Alaska. We went full-time RV, had an opportunity to buy a house, moved our daughter in, and now we may have to go back to the West Coast.
Yeah, there's a high likelihood that we're going to have to go back to the West Coast. Now, that is going to actually make us full-time RVers again. Because we're not going to buy a second house on the West Coast. We're going to just take the RV, go either buy some property and put it there, or find an annual site. But where corporate America is killing the full-time RV dream is it's the full-time travel that they're getting rid of, right? Because if they say you have to live within 50 miles of the area you work and you've got to be in the office 3 days a week, it's going to make it very difficult to do full-time travel. You're basically going to be an RVer living in your RV at an annual site because your corporate office is forcing you to be in the building.
But, you know, we do have some friends who full-time RV but live in an annual site and travel very limited.
Yeah, it's all a matter of what you want. I could say for me, corporate America is killing our travel dream, not our full-time RV dream. Because we're actually going to be full-timing if I get forced to go back to the West Coast.
We've actually been looking into different RV park memberships, like I'll just say 1,000 Trails, to see if it's a good fit for us. We've reached out to some friends, and right now we're undecided. We're just kind of waiting to see what happens with Chris's work.
Yep. The hardest part for us in the remote workspace is that companies that are kind of, I won't say two-faced, but it's kind of that way, right? They allow you to go remote, and now they're forcing you back into the building. Microsoft, I just read an article about this, was allowing people to work remote in Texas. They just forced all their Houston employees back into the office. The ones that refused, they shut down the division. So, yes, corporate America dictates how much we get to travel and whether or not we can full-time RV. I would recommend, my opinion, if you're going to get into remote work and you want to be a full-time traveling RVer, you better get it in writing.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you guys don't know, I'm going to share with everyone. I haven't talked about it with Chris.
Help me.
We were actually thinking about downsizing and going to a smaller Alliance travel trailer.
Yes.
But because of what has been in the recent news the past few months, we decided to hold off, because if we are going to go back to full-time RVing, we're going to stay in the Paradigm or possibly a toy hauler.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out another option. So there's some interesting trends going on, like Martha talked about. As of December of 2022, so, 10 months ago, basically, it went from about 67 to 69% of the jobs were remote down to about 25% of the jobs are remote. Since 2022, so now this is October of 2023, now they're down to about 14% of the jobs that are posted are remote work. And of those 14% of remote work, most of them are considered flex or hybrid, which goes back to that whole you have to live in this particular place or you have to be in the building 3 days a week. So when you actually look at the small percentage, it's probably almost back to pre-COVID.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, pre-COVID, it was about 4% of jobs were truly remote, and they were usually, IT programmer type jobs. Even those are being forced back in the building, and you're seeing it. Google's doing it. Amazon's doing it. Microsoft's doing it. They're the trendsetters in corporate America. The dot-coms have always been the front runners, and if they're forcing people back into the building, the Jeff Bezos of the world, Elon Musk of the world, corporate America is continuing to follow. Be prepared and plan ahead if you're going to be a full-timer that you might actually end up stationary.
Okay, I'm going to ask Chris to talk about what he told me last night about Zoom.
Oh my God.
This is funny.
So this is some hilarious crap. This is some of the hypocrisy. And as you can tell, I'm not a real big fan of this topic, but I think it's really important for all of you that follow us on our journey and know that I work full-time, and that, there's a lot of us out there that are tweeners. We're not retired, but our kids are out of the house-ish.
They're grown. They're adults.
They're grown. So Zoom, this is some funny crap. Zoom has made it mandatory for their employees to go back into the building. I think it was 2 to 3 days a week. But they still have to do their Zoom calls sitting next to their coworkers in the building.
Wow.
The whole point of Zoom is to give you the flexibility to be anywhere while having a conference call. Now they're making their employees sit next to each other on a Zoom call.
Wow, right? What do you guys think about that? Let us know in the comments below, because this just blew my mind last night when he read that article and he shared it with us, because we had a really in-depth conversation with our daughter and boyfriend.
Right. They're trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives. They're young 20s trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And, I was talking to them about remote work, and I'll give you guys some tips that I gave them as far as remote work. If you're going to do this moving forward, and this goes for RVers or non-RVers, make sure you get in writing what is allowed, meaning I'm allowed to work from, our case, Florida, but I can be employed out of a West Coast company, and I only have to be in the building 1 day a quarter, right? Get that in writing. Also, get the length of term of that contract, meaning like how long is this good for, right? For the next 12 months, we guarantee you don't have to be in the building but once every 3 months. Cool, get that in writing. The other thing you need to figure out, is there a radius, right? Do you have to be employed by the state that the company is in? Because that makes a world of difference. If you look at some of these states, New York, Illinois, California, the taxes are atrocious, and the registration on an RV, speaking firsthand, will kill you. How much did we pay when we registered our travel trailer and our pickup truck in California? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but it was a lot of money because it was quite a few years ago.
$1,400 for 1 year. So where you get employed out of when you're an RVer, of course, we all know matters.
Yes. So interesting. Chris has been chasing the corporate ladder and with his job, but we found out that he would not be able to promote unless we move back to the state where he wants to promote into.
Yep.
Crazy. You have limited promotion opportunities, and if you're not in the state and you're like still remote, out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah, Stanford did a big study over the last 24 months about that, and it was almost unanimous that the remote work employees versus the in-building employees doing the same job for the same company, the remote work almost never got promoted, just as Martha said, out of sight, out of mind. So for the company that I work for, if I want to promote, they've changed our policy, and it is very clear. My next role, no matter what it is, I have to live within the state of that job. I have to be in the building probably 1 to 2 days a week minimum.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I will have like an employment radius, meaning like my house can't be outside of this bubble.
So, back to full-time RV life. If this becomes a reality and we go back to the West Coast, we're going to full-time live in our RV because Chris covers the whole state of California.
Yep. Or if I promote, it'll be one of the other 7 or 8 states that we're in. But
that's true.
We are always thinking, and we're going to turn this to a positive because that's just who the hell we are. We are not negative Nancy's, but y'all need to know this stuff. If I get forced back to California, which is where I'm employed out of now, we're going to buy property. So there's areas that are unincorporated in California where you don't have zoning laws and you don't have HOAs. So we're going to buy property and we're going to build a
barndominium of some type.
Sort. at
Sort.
some point.
RV landing pad with the storage and the washer and dryer, because we don't have a washer and dryer in here.
50 amp hookup, septic system, the whole 9 yards. So our plan is to buy land and build a barn dough, because California is full-time anywhere between $1,000 to $1,300, maybe a little more a month.
Yes.
I could put that towards a mortgage and actually have a better option for the future for my retirement. Not that we plan on retiring there.
No, and I mean, we would own some land. I mean, that's pretty cool. Plus, the part where we're looking at would be not too far from his side of the family, which we love, and
the prices are super cheap up there, and it's gorgeous in Northern California.
And say we're out traveling, in our RV and all that, we could have someone come and stay and crash the pad.
Well, yeah, we'll put it on. Yeah. We will actually put it on Boondockers Welcome and Harvest Hosts and allow people to hook up. So, what do you guys think? My answer is corporate America is killing the full-time RV dream in the fashion that it is right now. I think we can help navigate this, and we can make it beneficial for us tweeners that are not near retirement age. I think RVing can be the future of corporate America. That's a whole nother video.
Absolutely. Now, the sad part is, you were reading somewhere saying that those that remote work don't really work a full 40 hours. This guy works over 50 hours easy. He starts his work day.
I'm scheduled 50 hours a week, and I write my own darn schedule.
So that's to say, I feel like you actually work more remote than you did in the office. Here's what a day in the office of corporate America for Christopher was. So
Christopher, am I in trouble?
No, that
I'm in trouble. Y'all help.
So
I'll blink twice. I need help.
Okay. When Chris was going to the office, when we were in Southern California after his promotion, he would drive to work. 13 miles would take how long?
45 minutes.
So
sometimes more if there was an accident.
He would take work calls to go to the office, 30 to 45 minutes to go 13 miles. That's California.
Yep.
And then he would work all day, and then he'd have to go take your lunch break, if you got a lunch break, because there's meeting after meeting, meetings would run over, someone would stop by the office, water cooler talk, and then, let's all go out to lunch. What do you guys feel like having today? And he would spend so much money on dry cleaning, on lunch, going out to eat, gas. It was crazy. Parking fees. And then he would come home after work, and gosh, it would take maybe an hour or so to get home in traffic.
Yeah, 5 o'clock traffic is brutal.
Crazy. So, and he would also take work calls on the way home.
Yep. And then I would do emails at night because my meetings ran over during the day and I couldn't get them done. So, yes, 45, 50 hours a week was standard in person. I'm more productive remotely than I ever was in person because my meeting ends, it ends. And then we move on to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And you cut out the 2-hour lunches or the hour lunches. You cut out the water cooler talk. People just dropping by the office. Corporate America's argument to this has been, and the reason they're forcing people back into the building is morale suffers. People are not as close. They miss the communication. They miss
water cooler talk.
Yeah, they miss the camaraderie and the team building. And I do believe there is some truth to that because it is nice to be in person. But I don't think that has to happen every day, 5 days a week. And it's a balancing act. This is a antiquated way of thinking of I'm your supervisor. If you're not doing your job, you're not sitting at your desk. I don't see what you're doing. I'm going to, assume you're not working. So productivity matters more to me than micromanagement of my team for every second of the day. Our work is online and all of our stuff is done through Microsoft Outlook and Teams and that nature. We can see when people are working. We can see what they're doing. There's analytics available. IT monitors everything. So this whole I have to see you to do your job, kind of bull crap.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But the benefit of remote working for Chris is he's able to add in more meetings. I have a half hour here. I have an hour there. Things get moved around. Your schedule can change. But for him, when he covers the whole state of California, he can't be in every office throughout the day. I mean, that's impossible.
So, in summary, here's my recommendation. If you're going to remote work and do RV life, get it in writing. Find out the length of what your contract is or your guarantee is. Figure out if you have a radius. Make sure you know how many times you have to be in the building. And most importantly, make sure your company is okay with you traveling outside of the state you work in. And most importantly, make the best of it, y'all.
Yes.
I mean, a house is a house, whether it's on wheels or on sticks and bricks. We're going to take this and roll out west if I have to. And we're still going to do Venturesome Couple, and I'm still going to chase the corporate ladder. But the opportunities for remote work, tiny compared to what they were just 2 years ago.
They're tiny and they're limited and for certain skill sets.
Yep.
Yeah. So what do you guys think?
Are we wrong?
Are we right?
I think we're right.
Are we somewhere in the middle?
Put the comments down below. And if you're retired, don't go neener, neener, neener. That's rude. We'll get there. We'll get there. Most importantly, thank you for watching. We hope this is helpful. We want to give you honest content that really applies to the broad masses of us tweeners that want to work. Smash the thumbs up. Give us a like.
Like and subscribe.
If you haven't hit the bell to be notified of what kind of crazy content we got coming out, please do.
Christopher.
Oh. Smash the thumbs up button. That means give us a like, right?
Yep. Don't forget like and subscribe.
And if you haven't hit the bell, please do, because you never know what you're going to get from us. We've got another work trip coming in. We got some crazy stuff coming.
So that has been one of the best part. I'll just throw that out there is when I'm able to go on the work trip with Chris, I pay for my own ticket and everything and go, but we try to make the most of it because it's hard for Chris to go for a one-day meeting, get there the day before, have the meeting, and then fly out that next morning. It's just...
Especially with 3-hour time difference, jet lag is real, y'all.
It is.
So, thumbs up, like and subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed, shame on you.
Yeah, shame.
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 All right. Thank you for watching. Most importantly,
enjoy every moment.